We're here with Clifton. Back to back to back. 3 different decks, bro.
3 different decks. 3 weeks, 3 different decks.
It's insane. You're insane. Like, so many people came up to me and was like, oh, he's playing Memento. Oh, is he playing the same deck he played last weekend?
Nope.
No, he's not. What'd you play? How'd you do?
Today I got first place at the Goodlettsville, Tennessee Regional. I went 7-0-1. I drew with Chester. But yeah, I played Gimmick Puppet.
Let's see.
Another fun deck to play while we were awaiting the ban list. So yeah, basic stuff. 3 Little Soldier, best starter outside of like Rouge Doll. This card's absolutely crazy. Just summon her and then you got from your deck, gets the whole combo started. 2 of the Terror Baby. I pretty much need one to do the combo. Really helps you play through hand traps and stuff. If you get like stopped, hard opening one is really, really good, especially if you don't have to start your combo with like normal summoning Little Soldiers or something. And then you get the additional normal summons off Mocking Necks and stuff. Yeah, this card's fantastic. Having 2 in deck just to be able to dump 1 to then banish it to lock like your opponent out of interacting with your cards, and having the second to search is super, super nice. And the 1-ofs, 1 Cattle Scream, 1 of the doll, and 1 of the other doll. This one prevents targeting. It's also really good because it can summon from hand by just discarding another Gimmick Puppet monster. This one's like the same thing, but it can summon from graveyard, so it's just a free level 8 to dump, another extended to the grave. And this one's mandatory. This is like the best card in the deck. You can summon from your hand or graveyard by detaching a material. And then its other effect is, while it's under an Xyz monster, you can detach and revive an opponent's Xyz monsters or their side of the field, which comes up a lot. Like during the last round, I reborn my opponent's, he's playing Yugioh. I reborn his Varudris and gave it to him, and then Giant Grinded and popped it and burned him for game, even though he hand trapped me and like I was playing through his board and stuff. So yeah, there's a bunch of cool stuff you can do with this card. Hand traps: 3 Ogre, 3 Mourner, 3 Imperm. These 2 are just the best. They're not like super high impact, but like this deck can't play a lot of non-engine, so I didn't want to play ones that suck to draw for turn. All of these are like, they're fine, and then they're pretty good to draw for turn. Imperm's just Imperm, it's pretty solid. And then Ogre's good to help beat things like Desiree and Appaloosa if you draw for turn.
How did that perform?
Ogre?
Yeah.
Mid. Not good.
Mid.
Imperm was great.
Imperm's the best.
Yeah. It never caught any Appaloosas or anything. It caught a Song and Summoning, and then like a Voiceless Voice Barrier, which is like pretty cool. Just random stuff like that, but nothing insane. But in theory, it's good. You just want as many cards as to like live off the top of your deck whenever you're playing. And then this, shout out to Zach. This was the best hand trap all weekend. Ghost Mourner. So normally you would just be like, why aren't you playing Effect Veiler or Ash, like a more generic card? Well, this card is generic, going first for a second, you can stop like an opponent's play or something. But in this deck, why not play a hand trap that burns in the burn deck? Oh, spells, God card, Singing and Summoning on crack. So many people just didn't read this card. I had like 4 monsters on my field and I got nibbed. And I was just like, it stays in your hand. And he was like, why? They're unaffected.
That card right there.
It protects them by battle too, which is insane because most of your guys are huge. Yeah, just fantastic card. It's also part of the FTK where you have to give your opponent an extra monster and then pop it. Terraforming just to get there. 3 goods and stuff to get to the field spell, because this card by itself is like the only true like 1 card FTK without having to have anything else. So yeah, just goods to dump this and add this stuff. You play this because if it's on the field, you can use its effect and put it back on top of your deck. So then you can activate this and dump this and still combo. Whereas if you played like another Crystal Beast or something and you drew it, you're just dead. It won me a game though. Shout out to Eli. 3 of the favorite card in my deck, my favorite card in the deck, Condolence Puppet. It pretty much usually just dumps 1 Gimmick Puppet monster because it dumps how many extra deck monsters your opponent controls +1. So if you go first, normally you just activate it, dump Rouge Doll, and then Rouge Doll adds it back, and that's how you start your combo. But going second, you can dump a lot of cards going into a board. Like this last round, I resolved this card for 5. So I just dumped 5 Gimmick Puppets from my deck to the graveyard. So I just dumped like the Rouge Doll. I just dumped 1 of all of these guys. So my guys can't be targeted, free extender, they can't respond to any of my guys, and then this goes to the graveyard and adds back to my hand. This is how I start my combo. Like this 1 card just solo wins the game. It's fantastic. And then you can banish it from the graveyard and your guys can't be, you can protect the Gimmick Puppet from being destroyed by card effects, which didn't come up today, but good card. And then the other one was the Service Puppet play. You just search it off the new big Mocking X guy. This is kind of like your fallback if you don't FTK, where you get like shifted or something like that.
Yeah.
And then this graveyard effect is banished to give them a guy. So once again, sometimes you just like, if you get hand trapped, you run out of ways to like give them guys if your plays get stopped. So you kind of shoot as many cards to do that as possible. 2 of the rank up spells is kind of how the deck functions. If you don't get to this card, you lose. Drawing it is totally fine, but you need to have at least 1 in deck so you can resolve the guy to search and give the additional normal summon. But yeah, there's a lot of times where like my guy got stopped, and then but I hard opened 1, so I was still able to FTK. Foolish, just to dump like Rouge Doll or any of your guys to combo or protect your stuff. Called by, same thing. And then 3 talents. This is definitely more of like a breaker deck. I mean, if you go first, there's just so many like extra extenders and stuff you can draw into to FTK. And then going second, it just auto baits out negates and things like that. Extra deck.
How many cards did you play? I'm sorry.
40. It's always 40.
Playing 40.
It's always 40. Always 40. We're never playing more. 2 of that Chimera Doll Link guy. Yeah, pretty much just as soon as you summon it, you add Terra Baby. And this is kind of like how you like cycle through your stuff. 2 of the Machinex. This is the best extra deck card. Detaches to add the rank up spell and then gives you an additional normal summon. And then it revives itself from the graveyard whenever you exceed summon and then gets back the rank up spell. And then 2 of the big guy that goes over top of it. Whenever he's summoned, he adds the Puppet Trap, which is alright, but his other effect is really, really good. He detaches to give your opponent an Exceeds monster, or give him a Puppet monster. So this is how you kind of like give your opponent a monster to burn them and keep going. 2 of the strings. This got just limited on the list today. But yeah, you only really need 1 of it to do the combo, the main ones. It says attachment material and give everything string counters, so then you can start popping things to burn them. And then this is like the worst hit. 3 of this card. It's like the big version of this. Whenever it's summoned, you pop all the cards with the string counters, you burn for the highest attack, and then draw a card. So it just helps you like draw into extra extenders, power cards like talents and hand traps, stuff like that. And then if you're going second, I mean, you can just give everything a string counter and then rank up into this guy. This clears the field, burns them, and most of the time you can just attack for game. You don't even have to worry about FTKing them. And then it also gives things string counters, which is important for burning.
So the hit doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
The what? The hit doesn't matter?
Yeah.
I think it does. I don't know. This going to 1 doesn't matter too much, but I think this going to 1 matters a lot.
That's fair.
Because now I think you're going to have to revolve around a lot more of the giant grinder guy.
That's fair.
Yeah, he detaches to pop a special monster up to twice per turn. If you pop an Exceeds monster, it burns for its attack. But you can only do it during main phase 1. But I mean, that's fine. We were never going to battle this. One of the Gigantes doll, pretty much the only reason you played it because it's a 4, so whenever you reveal a Rouge doll, you can reveal this and summon little soldiers from your deck to then dump another like Cattle Scream or something and then start comboing. But this card comes up in weird situations. You can attach 2 materials and then take 2 of your opponent's monsters, and then you contribute this to make the 2 monsters that you take level 8, so then you can like start giving Puppet comboing. It's really, really good against decks that float. So for example, like Yugioh, like if you can just keep giving counters to Yugioh monsters and popping them, but they have 0 attack, so you're never burning them, and then they just keep floating. So a lot of times, if I'm playing against Yugioh, I just make this, attach 2, take their like Yugioh or Phantom or whatever, tribute this, make them both 8s, and then make the Gimmick Puppet stuff. That way I effectively clear their board and then can just attack for game. This guy, this is kind of like your failsafe plan. He literally just says detach a material, pop a card on the field. If it was a monster, burn for that much. If you have like an extra rank up card or you get hand trapped, you just need that like little extra burn damage. That's what this guy's for. And then the super spicy tech in the extra deck.
Let's go.
Psychic and Punisher. Shout out to Justin Sink for like the list and sending me everything. He played it at Sacramento. And he hooked me up with the list and everything. I tweaked it a little bit, but this was like the MVP card in the extra deck because everyone's playing Dogwood right now. So if they Dogwood you could just go like full combo and they're just going to be like, what the hell are you doing? And all your Gimmick Puppets are level 8. So you just summon a Gimmick Puppet and then you just normal a hand trap at the end. And then you make this. And then enter battle phase. And since the life points are just so different, you're like, game!
Yeah, Lord.
And you even things up. So yeah, card's kind of crazy.
Card's insane.
It didn't come up today, but yeah, in theory, it's crazy. Side deck, 3 Mourner, just so I don't die. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, my deck doesn't really do anything outside of FT Gang, has no real grind. So if I get shifted or I can't FTK them, I need something to,
Necessary.
yeah, just buy me an extra turn. 3 Ghost Spell. This wasn't our main deck until we figured out, like, the Mourner stuff was just better.
Yeah.
This card's pretty mid as a hand trap, but the worst thing that this deck loses to is Bestials, and Bestials are on everybody's deck. So pretty much just put this in every single
Plus
time.
level 3 tuner.
Yeah, it's a level 3 tuner for Psychic and Punisher, so... 3 thrusts, you just have a lot of power spells in the deck that you can search, like Feather Duster, you can search Terraforming, Foolish Burial Goods, Condolence Puppet's a normal spell, and then going first, you can just set, like, stupid floodgates. Like, if you get hand trapped like Shifter, you can set the Barrier or Dimension Ground to skip your opponent's turn and then FTK them on the follow-up. Thrust was the best card in my deck. And then 3 Evenly Matched, just another board breaker for 1 second, because you don't need a battle phase. You just evenly, same way you can search it off Thrust, make them bait up and negates, and then main phase 2, just FTK.
Card's gas.
Yeah.
Card's super good.
Pretty straightforward. I FTK'd like 20 times today. Like 20 times or more. I only played 1 Tempai. That's kind of why I played it. Just so like it's a regional. A lot of people are going to play Tempai and they're just going to win the roll and be like, you can start. And I'll be like,
Cool. Excellent.
you won't say that next game. So yeah, that's why I wanted to play it. Just to mess around and have fun in regional before the list. But yeah, I mean, the deck was solid. It's really, really hard to play. I
don't doubt that.
I just learned it like this past week, but
Also, don't doubt that.
yeah, it was much harder to play than I thought it was going to be, but it was super fun. You should give this thing a try if it's like, hopefully it's all right, postless.
Hopefully it will be. Any shout-outs, anything else before you?
Shout out to Goo Gaming for being incredible sponsors and being super supportive. Shout out to Austin Long. Shout out to Rain Griffith through the decades, my home store in Louisville, Kentucky. He moves cards. Shout out to Zach for the Ghost Motor Tech. That was crazy. Shout out to Studs Group Chat, Capybara. And then my wife, Kat. Yeah, saying that's it.
Cool.